I'm going to make a puree for you today that we've made for years and years and years, about 20 years. We turn this into soups, we make purees, we do all sorts with it, but this is how I make cauliflower puree. Okay, first thing we need to do is just cut round the root, take out all of these. You don't want root, the root's not going to help you, so what you need are these sort of large floret parts here. You can actually make quite a nice stock out of the leaves and the stalks and stuff, but not for this today. So we need a nice pan warming up over there. What's important is this is a dairy-based puree, so it requires cream, it requires a little bit of milk, so you don't want to be starting that in olive oil. That's important. You want to be going all the way in butter. I always like to keep the fats the same all the way through the cooking. So I'm just slicing the heads of those, discarding the root. I'm just slicing that. They all want to be relatively the same size if you want to end up with a delicious puree. And this is going to be one of those things where the puree is bringing kind of richness, silkiness, textual, vegetal flavors to the plate. You know, purees are they might seem like a very kind of fine dining thing to do, but they are really, really important on a plate of food. I sort of look at purees as like condiments. You know, it's like if you put you got a wonderful steak and you put a little bit of Dijon mustard on the side, that's a condiment, right? Except in our world, a puree like that is actually adding finesse, elevation, layers. It's adding fat and richness and vegetal. So I think purees are actually really, really important on a special plate of food. So there's our sort of roughly cut cauliflower, roughly the same size. I always start purees with a little bit of onion as well. I'm not going to slice the onions for this one because I want the onions to be quite small and cook quickly. I don't want onion flavor. I just want onion depth and sweetness. So we just want some roughly diced onion like that. There we go. So we'll start with the onion, give that a minute to sweat down. Actually, let's add all the onion. We'll add a bit more.
Could you do this with any vegetable to make any puree?
Sam, I love the fact you're asking me questions. This is nice. It's about time you were interacted in the channel. Everyone, this is Sam, the guy with the questions. So all purees, pretty much, I start like that. The main vegetable and some onions. But look, it might have a bit of leek, might have a bit of celery, might have a few other bits and pieces. But generally, that's how they start. So, like I said, the fats have to stay the same. Don't use olive oil now if you're going to make a dairy-based puree. Butter goes in. It can be cold. That's all good. In goes the onions. Right, in goes that. Right, what's really important now is maldon sea salt. So this is going to be enough salt for the whole puree, and that goes in right now. It's really important you get that in now. Let those onions bleed out. The salt's going to draw the moisture, like we always say, draws the moisture out, sweats the onion down, gets that acrid flavour of the onion away, leaves the sweetness behind, and that's going to be then the base of our puree. Look, I could add bay leaves, I could add peppercorns, I could add thyme, I could add rosemary, I could have so many different things to this, truffles, whatever. But I just want to make here a really pure, simple, bright, white, clean, delicious cauliflower puree. Okay, so if you come over here, Sam, you can see the water's all cooked out. They're starting to fry again now. The oil's come out, so water's gone. That means we are ready for cauliflower. So, onion sweated, cauliflower in. Right, at this stage, I'm going to add a little bit more butter because I want to make sure there's enough fat to keep that cauliflower moving. You wouldn't want this, you wouldn't want more than this in a pan. So you don't want to overload the pan so the whole thing starts stewing, but you'll be amazed at how quickly that will cook down now. All right, like I said, a little bit more butter. So there's enough butter to coat with that amount of cauliflower. Turn up the heat a little bit. You're not looking for colour, you want sweat. So you're looking to sweat that, which basically means to draw out all the moisture and just be left with the actual vegetal left behind. And that's what we're going to turn into a really silky puree, all right? There'll be like a translucence, which essentially means that all the water's been cooked out in the middle. You can see the centre of the cauliflower. It just becomes translucent.
Can you roast it as well before you do it?
You can make that roasted. It becomes a very different thing though. It becomes a much richer, much more dominant flavour on the plate. And I don't like purees like that so much. I want purees to be there as like the finesse and the luxury. That's the word. They're the luxury on the plate. So you take a little scoop of this cauliflower puree that's like creamy and fatty and delicious and deep, and you spread it on your cod, which is really pure and simple. And the two things together, you've got that. For me, that's where the perfect harmony comes from. So when you start roasting cauliflower or making really robust, deep flavoured purees, you are entering into another realm there where, you know, there is a place for them, but you are dominating the dish with those purees, whereas this is a real complement or a condiment, like I said. Okay, can you see that, Sam? This is cooking actually really fast. There's a lot of heat in there, that should be burning, but the salt's stopping that burning. But look, no moisture left now, we're there, right? Don't take it further than that. This whole puree can be start to finish. Once you've prepped the veg, this can be start to finish, 25 minutes on the plate. So it's really simple and quick, and if it's not like that, you will lose all that really fresh flavour and you'll just end up with a very tannic flavoured puree. So nice and quick. In goes now, double cream. I never said this was a health meal. So double cream goes in, not too much. All right, so we need that double cream now to cook the cauliflower and reduce so it's thick and keep the whole thing fresh. So if you go in with too much cream, it will just be a problem and you'll end up with a very sloppy, wet puree. You don't want that. So this has got to cook down now and cook the cauliflower and reduce as a product. And then we're going to go straight into a really fast blender and then make a silky puree. Okay, if you look at this, Sam, come in closely. What's happening here is, you see this bubble going on? It's cooking quite fast, but that's important to get this thing done quickly to retain the freshness. But if you look in here, look, if I mix this up, it's not burning. That's because it's a bloody good pan. But it's not burning. It's not cooking away, but there's still quite a lot of moisture, a little water. So that's going to go away. But we're cooking quickly, but we're not burning anything. And I'm even using one of these induction things that are not easy to cook on because they have a very, very centered heat point in the middle. If you were on a normal stove now, you'd be much easier than what I'm doing. But basically, if you just move that around, you see all that water. Basically, the water's cooking out. It's getting thicker. But don't be scared of cooking it this quickly because you need that speed to get the reduction down to get the velvety finish. If I taste this now, so I'll be tasting this all the way through to know where I am. So now I've reached a place where I'm super savoury, cauliflower predominant. There's the fat and the richness and the cream. The seasoning is absolutely perfect. And I know that because it's worked properly, not necessarily because it tastes right. The seasoning has given us that technique that we wanted. So for me, I'm actually exactly where I'd like to be. I just need that cream to come down a little bit more to achieve the thickness that I want in the puree. So for me, I'm cooked where I want to be. The cauliflower is actually a tiny bit undercooked, but it will get there. It's still, if you look at the cauliflower pieces, big enough pieces, you'll see it's not mush. You're not looking to turn it into mush. They're actually, these are still, tangible pieces of cauliflower. Look, they're not mush. You don't want it to be mush because that's when you've lost all the flavour and it's just become kind of like, Nan's house 7-hour cooked cauliflower. Right, now that's starting to come together and be a little bit thicker now. See that? Right, the cream is now almost binding the cauliflower. Can you see that? Does that make sense? Rather than being like a soupy sort of thing. But you need to start with that much cream to get the reduction to happen and to cook the cauliflower and to end up with that sort of more viscous feeling. So look, bind cauliflower bound with reduced cream now. No coloration. We've kept the colour nice. This will be a nice bright white puree. I've kept the black pepper away from it, annoyingly. And I reckon that's almost ready for the blender. Right, let's get that on to a bit of full speed. It's really hot, so very important, as always, start this with it turned right down. Don't start it fast, start it nice and slow, otherwise it will hit the ceiling, burn my hand, and make a big mess. Then turn it up. Now we go. Turn that down a second. Right, what I'm going to do now is add a little bit of olive oil, and this helps give us that shine, that viscosity, that finish, that mouthfeel. Really important. So a little bit of olive oil in there. I'm also going to go in with some butter, nice fresh butter. not cooked out butter. 'Cause again, it just gives us that mouthfeel. Come and have a look at it in here, Sam. Come have a look at my guy in here. Look, can you see how rich and velvety that is? Look at the. It's not quite smooth enough yet, but it's turned into that really delicious, thick puree that we're after, right? So we're nearly there. One more minute and we'll be done. We're going to pass that through a chinois. We're going to pass it through a chinois, get it nice and smooth, and then pack it down nicely. Okay, there we go. There's our puree. Straight through a fine chinois. Use a maurice to get it all out so we don't waste any. Remember, that's 1 cauliflower we started with there, and a little bit of cream, butter, and onion. Nice and simple. You do need a good blender. This is a Vitaprep, and they are very, very, very good, powerful blenders, and they do make fantastic purees. They make better purees than Thermomix, which also tells you that I'm not paid by either. So there you go. I don't care. I'll just say it as I see it. But there is our fantastic puree. Look, there we go. All right. Push it all the way through. And what we're looking for with our puree is that.
You've done that before.
Delicious. Right, now, best way to store these so we don't get skin on them is just to take a bit of cling film, and what we call contact cling film. So we just pop some cling film on top and we make it connect and contact with the puree. Stops us getting any skin on there. And then I will now stand this on ice water so it gets as cold as quick as possible. And then that will be nice once it's, only because I'm chilling it and keeping it for later. But that's a puree. All right. That there is my absolutely delicious, silky smooth, Wonderbar, bright white, wonderful cauliflower puree.
Wonderbar.